Have you ever gone for a night out at the club and you showed up really, really excited, only for the dance floor to look like this?
Whoa, this sucks.
Have you ever noticed that going out and clubbing isn't as fun as it once was in decades prior? I wouldn't know because I'm Gen Z, so this is like the first time I'm going clubbing, but a lot of older generations have noticed that. If you've noticed that clubbing has been in decline, and just clubs in general, they just aren't the same as they used to be in the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, you'd be correct. Nightclubs were once the ultimate place to just let loose, dance, and connect with other people. In recent years, however, club culture has been in noticeable decline. As the data shows, club attendance has just been in rapid decline. A lot of people are noticing that whenever they do go to clubs, the vibe just isn't there anymore, honestly. This has started some sort of discourse online, which has been labeled the death of club culture.
And a question tonight, is the fun nature of the nightclub scene dying out? Some people have been complaining about how much the culture of the club has changed in the past few years.
Why do clubs suck now, and why does club culture suck now?
Club and party culture is really dying in a lot of places in America right now.
I'm very concerned about the future of my culture, which is clubbing. I'm going to write some letters to authorities like soon. This is a dying art. They're forgetting this craft and how to do it. The young girls, they don't even know how to dance on a table in a heel.
Why are clubs all over the UK going from this to this?
Lucky for me, I found a really good spot near where I live that always has good vibes, and honestly, the nights are just fun. But it took me a while to find it, and the sad truth is a lot of nightclubs are just declining. Even if I have a good spot to go to now, I've had a lot of times that I go to certain clubs and the dance floor is just like completely dead. Growing up, I remembered clubbing was always the thing to do. At least it always seemed like the thing to do. It was the subject of every single pop song on the radio, and it was the Friday night activity for every young adult at the time. I remember being a young kid in 2009 and 2010, hearing songs from pop stars and rappers like 50 Cent, Nelly, Nicki Minaj, and especially Lady Gaga that glamorized a life that was lived on the dance floor. Not only did it make the millennials seem super cool to me when I was younger, but it also just made me so excited for the day when I would finally be the one on the dance floor in the club, just like those girls I would see in all of those music videos. However, I guess I'm taking the L here because I never really got to experience that. I have experienced a little bit of it, but not nearly to the same degree as it was in the early 2010s. I remember I would watch shows like Jersey Shore, and these were reality shows that also glamorized club life. However, I guess I sort of grew up in a generation that kind of missed out on that club life, which is why I want to talk about this today. What has caused the death of club culture in Gen Z? Gen Z just doesn't go out clubbing like past generations used to, and I want to look into that today. The first reason I would say is just this dramatic increase in social awkwardness and social anxiety. So many people, and I find this, I don't want to say annoying, but I'm going to say annoying. It's a little bit annoying because so many people in my generation, they just cannot talk to people.
Have you ever had a dreams that you They do not know how to talk to people. You try starting up a conversation with them, they will literally give you one-word answers. They don't know how to keep a conversation going. They definitely don't know how to dance. They're very shy. They're very introverted. Being introverted is like cool now. You see all these memes of people bragging about the fact that they don't go out and they're just so shy. Many people in Gen Z struggle with anxiety, which makes it very difficult to engage with them socially. Clubs rely on the energy of the people. And I saw a TikTok one time that says a lot of people go to clubs expecting a vibe, expecting entertainment. You don't understand, guys. You guys are supposed to be the entertainment. You guys are supposed to be the vibe. It's not like you're expecting the fun. No, you are the fun. You're supposed to be the fun. You're not supposed to go there for the fun. You're supposed to bring the fun. You're supposed to bring the energy. You're supposed to bring the life. You're supposed to be the one that's brave enough to go dancing and talking to people, which is kind of like something that a lot of people in Gen Z miss. They think the fun is supposed to happen to them. They think the fun is supposed to be something that they experience. It's not something you experience. You are the experience yourself. You are the fun. Clubs rely on energy, but many Gen Zers just come expecting the vibe to happen around them, not realizing that they have to be the ones to actively contribute to the vibe. It's supposed to be like a party. Not to mention the COVID-19 pandemic that has just exacerbated feelings of isolation. Being raised with social media and with less human encounters makes people just so much more awkward and just so much less willing to dance. Gen Z is so awkward. They cannot talk to people. I know I sound like a boomer when I say this, but I don't really care. Remember when I said being introverted is now popular and people make memes about it? I think that is probably a contributing reason why club culture is dying.
Why did you drag me out clubbing?
I think I found one you'll like.
Introversion has become popular. It's popular to be an introvert now. It's just become so trendy. Over the last decade, it's become like a badge of honor. It's like with phrases like, oh, I'm such an introvert, I don't go out, I'd rather stay at home, like curled up in a ball, reading my books and watching Netflix and stuff. It's like a badge of honor, really. These phrases about relatable introvert memes, it just dominates social media. And come at me if you want, but it must be said, a lot of these introverts aren't just quiet, they just straight up don't know how to talk to people or maintain a conversation, and it just kills the vibe. I'm sorry, it just kills the vibe. It translates to a lot less enthusiasm when it comes to a very social environment like clubs, an environment where you're supposed to be social. These people come, these introverts come, they cannot dance, they stand in the corner, they don't do anything, they're too afraid to talk to anybody, which is fine if you're like one person, but when everybody's an introvert and nobody's dancing, it kills the vibe so bad. It kills the vibe so bad. Another reason why people are just much less brave to go up there and dance, and just generally why clubs are declining, is because drinking is declining. Alcohol consumption has drastically decreased with Gen Z in comparison to a lot of previous generations. A big part of what made people brave enough to dance and just to not care about what other people thought was the fact that they were not sober. They were drunk out of their mind. Alcohol and clubs go together like peanut butter and jelly. One of the biggest effects of alcohol is obviously the fact that it just makes you overly confident. It just increases your confidence, makes you super brave, makes you not give a fuck about anything or any potential social judgment. However, in recent years, the amount of Gen Z people that actually drink has decreased dramatically in comparison to their millennial counterparts back when the millennials were our age. Just like cigarettes, the negative health concerns that have made alcohol go out of style with younger generations, the lack of drinking has also really contributed to the atmosphere. People just tend to be much more tense when they're sober, and that's just the reality of it, and that's really affected club culture. In addition to this, the rise of the internet has brought about a very new fear in people, and that is the fear of being filmed by others.
Let's just be honest with ourselves, everybody, okay? Clubs stopped being fun the moment you freaks couldn't stop recording everyone going to Boogie Town naturally.
Nowadays, the thought of going viral for dancing in a way that is seen as cringe is a very real possibility. And we all know that on the internet, being seen as cringe is worse than being seen as a murderer. Not only are there just a ton of people that are very afraid for good reason of being filmed, but a lot of times the problem goes in the complete opposite direction, and it seems like there are people that cannot stop filming themselves.
An important aspect, Bevan, that people want to show social media what they're doing, but they're not actually doing it.
Because sometimes when I go out, they'll be on their phones, and the only time they dance is if somebody has a camera in their face, like, hey, girl, ooh. And then right when the camera's done, back on the phone, I'm like, what is going on?
Like I said, I'm gonna sound like such a boomer when I say this, but a lot of times there are people that go to clubs, and I've seen this myself. They go to clubs specifically for getting a good Instagram story and for the TikToks, rather than to actually dance. There are people that go there, and rather than actually have fun, they go there to make it look like they have fun, and they are just doing nothing but filming themselves on the dance floor all night, the entire night. And then there's, of course, the expenses. Clubbing has become very expensive, from parking to the tickets to the bottle service. Everything, and even like the sections. It has become just such an expensive night out, pricing out many, especially the younger generations who are already dealing with a lot of financial struggles and inflation. Many clubs charge significant cover fees or ticket prices, particularly for events with popular DJs, especially if you got a really popular DJ on there. And then one major reason that I think is often like overlooked, but I've seen as a big problem is DJs nowadays are playing undanceable music. The music that DJs are playing, you literally cannot fucking dance to. Instead of pop hits from like Lady Gaga or Beyonce, half of the time I go to a club and it's literally drill rap. Nobody wants to dance to you rapping about shooting your ops. How the fuck do you expect us to dance to like King Von or Chief Keef or even somebody like Playboi Carti? Honestly, really, clubs should just go back to pop. They should just stick to playing dance pop, and if they are gonna play rap, then only play rap that is like party rap that you can really dance to, like Nelly or Pitbull. Because how do you expect us to dance to Lil Durk repping O-Block and Chief Keef talking about how all his dead ops are in Chicago and stuff? Like, you can't dance to that. You can't dance to that. It doesn't help that the amount of danceable pop music being made is going down in comparison to the 2000s. I'm not gonna lie, we do still have some new pop stars coming out like Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter, but it is nothing, and I mean nothing, compared to the amount of iconic pop stars that emerged throughout the 90s and the 2000s, like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, etc. In conclusion, the decline of club culture isn't just about young people deciding to stay home. It's a reflection of larger societal changes, whether it be the skyrocketing costs to shifts in just attitudes in younger generation, and of course the omnipresence of social media. It's clear that many factors have contributed to the death of what was once a very vibrant social experience. But this doesn't mean club culture is beyond saving. If you miss the energy, connection, and pure fun of a night out, there are ways to keep the spirit alive. That is, support your local venues, advocate for better music and more fair pricing, and most importantly, I cannot emphasize this enough, guys. I cannot emphasize this enough. Be the energy you want to see on the dance floor. It's like that phrase, be the change you want to see. Be the vibes you want to see. Go out there and really, really give it your all. Be the energy you want to see. I cannot emphasize that enough.